What is up, everybody? Welcome to the brand new show, Best Bet, where we give our best bet for each and every fight. And there are only two rules on this show. One, we're going to be betting the current UFC lines and other lines have moved throughout the week. And then two, no passing, even if the fight sucks, whatever, you have to pick at least one bet. And I'm here with a very sharp group of guys. We have Billy Briz stepping in on short notice for Uncle Weezy. We have Z's MMA and then also Narco Cop. Check them out on Twitter and then also check them out on YouTube. Narco has his own YouTube channel, as does Z, and Billy does content on Pub Sports Radio. We're going to try to keep this show under 1 hour, and it's going to be a fun show. I can't wait to start this show. A bunch of very sharp guys on here. I want to hear what your guys' best bets are in the chat as well. And I do want to shout out the chat real quick. We have Trez, first one in the chat, Davey as well. Thomas, looking for some violence as always, MTRB. We have Walter in the chat as well, Alex, Ken as well. Can't wait for the show. So we have 1 hour, 59 minutes before the prelims start. So I say we get into it, and we'll start with Martinez going against Guido Connetti. So we'll kick it to Billy Briz. Billy Briz, what is your best bet for this first fight of the night?
Man, this one's a little bit sketchy with the whole entire thing with the coach just dying and stuff. But my favorite bet on this fight would be Martinez inside the distance, minus 145. If you want to look for plus money, I would say rounds 1 or 2, plus 200, plus 400. I don't think Guido Connetti is going to be in the UFC any longer. I'm shocked he's even in the UFC still. It amazes me. But, man, I don't know, man. There's definitely some sketchiness to the fight, though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Z, what is your best bet for this first fight of the night?
I'm going to echo Billy's sentiments. I am going to take the round 1 prop, though. I have bets on Martinez inside the distance, the under 1.5, and the round 1. I got the round 1 at plus 225, but I believe the best line I'm seeing right now is like plus 175, maybe plus 150. So it's not that great, but I do think Connetti's coming in here and going to get chin checked with a left hook with the quickness. So give me Martinez round 1 KO, but I'll just say the round 1 for the best bet.
Okay, so you and Billy kind of on the same page there. Narco, what is your best bet for this first fight?
I have an actual bet of under 1.5 at plus 110. Right now at 112, looking at FanDuel there at 112, I believe. I would still take that line. I kind of like the weight miss. I kind of like to be honest, he didn't look right at weigh-ins. I don't know what the deal was with him, with Martinez. He did not look right to me. I feel like, his coach passed away. There might be some aggression there. It could be bad or good. And Connetti hits hard, man. Like, I don't care what the guy is. He's chin checked, whatever. He hurt Marlon Vera really bad in that first round. And if he can hurt Marlon Vera, I think he can hurt Martinez here.
Yep, fair points for sure. Yeah, you mentioned on FanDuel, it's still minus 112, where, books like Bet Online is minus 144. For me, I'm going to go Martinez KO minus 130. He has a 100% finish rate, 100% knockout rate. Guido Connetti has been finished in all of his losses. He has been submitted in 4 of them, though. But if you watch some of those losses, he is getting hurt prior to getting submitted. I think Mana does knock him out here within the first couple rounds. So I think we're all on the same page here. I think we're all on Mana. Let's see what the people in the chat are thinking. Mana inside the distance here. Mana inside the distance should be nice. Seems like the whole world is on Mana inside the distance, or like the fight doesn't go to decision. So Preston, Martinez better get the KO. I think he does. What is up, Joe? What's up, Eric, as well?
It's a good feel-good story, man. How can you not root for the guy, man?
True. Mentioning the funeral last week, I think it was just like this week as well. So, yeah, lots of question marks for me, but I really do think Mana does get it done. Yeah, probably in that first round. So we will move on to the next fight of the night, and we will start with Narco. In my opinion, this is a very intriguing, a very competitive fight. I'm kind of, struggling to, really pick a side here, but we have Pat Sabatini versus Jamal Emers. Narco, do you have a good play for us here?
So I had an initial bet of Jamal Emers at minus 132. Got in a little earlier, but I have, to be honest, I have some kind of buyer's remorse now. Like, I'm looking at the lines now, and I think Sabatini by decision at plus 300 is not a bad look, to be honest. I think he can land takedowns. I know Emers is a very good wrestler, but Sabatini pushes that grappling a lot, and I think he has a chance to get this fight to the ground and possibly grind out 2 rounds somehow. But to me, right now, as it stands, I probably, I think I like that look with Sabatini by decision at plus 300.
Yeah, plus 300. That's very nice. Z, what is your best bet for this fight?
Man, Narco, that's interesting because when I was on the Tuesday DK show with Brady, I was touting Sabatini as a pretty good play considering the wrestling upside, at least for DraftKings. But when I went further into it, man, I don't know. I think Emers is going to roll here. I think his striking's a lot better. He's got UFC experience. He's very athletic with the wrestling background in his back pocket. So I don't know. When I reviewed it, I was just like, I'm not as confident on Pat grinding him out. So I actually don't mind Emers inside the distance. I'm seeing it like plus 430 out there. And I actually have Emers in round 3 as part of my long bomb round robin this week. So I flip-flopped, but yeah, I'm going to go with Emers not only to win, but to finish. So the bet will be Emers inside the distance. Again, I'm seeing that at plus 430. I don't know what you have it there at, Brady, but
430. Yeah. Okay. What'd you get Emers in round 3 at?
I think it was only 1,200. I just did it on Sports Interaction, so I didn't get the best price, of the market. I just make those on that book, so it is what it is.
I can see it. Yeah, if Sabatini does slow down like he did in his last fight, I could see Emers third round finish. Billy, how about you? What is your best bet for this fight?
I think this fight's going to go under the radar, man. I'm going to come in with a biased statement. Philly boy, Renzo Gracie, stand up. Pat Sabatini's about to get it done. I like Pat Sabatini by submission plus 450. Pat Sabatini round 1 is plus 800. And then if you want to do the built-in hedge, I like Jamal Emers by KO plus 500. I just feel like Pat Sabatini's fighting style, he's just going to bring a fight. I feel like Emers is going to try to get into a phone booth battle with him. Hopefully somebody drops and we cash some plus money tickets. I think the books are kind of underrated in this one.
All right, Billy, go on the Sabatini side by submission. Yeah, for me, like I said, I'm really struggling to pick a side here. I kind of like the fight goes to decision, but man, it's chalky minus 200. You see minus 170 on 5 dimes as well, but I'll go with that for my best bet. I don't really see anybody getting finished here. If anything, I do think it'll be more on the Sabatini side. He's a very dangerous grappler, but I kind of expect Jamal Emers to just keep this fight standing, use this defensive wrestling, and kind of pick apart Sabatini for 3 rounds. Kind of like Emers by decision as well, but it's kind of covers both sides. Fight goes to decision, a little bit chalky, minus 200, but that will be my best bet for this fight. Let's see what you guys in the chat think. Stock, liking Pat by slap ass. There you go. Alex liking Emers, decision around 3. There you go. Emers money line. A lot of Emers in here. We have Sean on Sabatini by sub in round 2, calling a shot there. Dan saying knock back out the like button. I agree. Let's hit that like button. 187 of you in here. You all can hit the like to be much, much appreciated. Going live every Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims, giving our best bet for each and every fight. Really, really excited for this brand new show. I hope you guys do like it. So we shall move on to the next fight. And oh boy, this is Z's and I believe Narco's main event of the evening. I know they're both so excited for this fight. So I'll actually kick it off to Z first. Z, I kind of already know what you're going to say, but what is your best bet for this fight?
You're muted.
There you go. You're muted.
God, I'm muted. You know what I'm going to say because you know what's going to happen. We got Aldrich inside the distance. She's playing T-ball here. Vanessa Demopolis doesn't move her head. She has no striking defense. She's on short notice moving up a division. Now, she was training for a fight, but it was a fight at strawweight where she spent the entirety of her career. So coming in here versus JJ, who has UFC experience, has many rounds in the UFC versus much larger combatants. I think she rolls here, and I think her game is well suited to take advantage of those defensive liabilities that Demopolis has. So I did get in on JJ ITD at plus 460, completely smashed the market, completely ruined it. Look at that. Look at that line. So I also have JJ in round 3 as part of that long bomb round robin. But I'll take JJ by KO TKO at this point. I do like the fact that I have that in that submission included at 460, but I think KO is much more likely, and I am seeing it at plus 500 in Unibet there. So yeah, give me JJ by KO TKO for the purposes of this show, and can't wait to hear Narco echo everything I just said.
Yeah, Z, you smashed that line. Bro,
it's just so far off. Like, I get that it's unorthodox, but this is an 80% favorite we're talking about, and I don't see many people pushing back on that line. So the books are really counting on Vanessa to make it to the decision. And I just think the Mercy TKO is in play here in a big way. It's going to be left down the pipe, landing clean, rinse and repeat.
Oh, it definitely makes sense. Narco, what do you have for this fight here?
So I didn't beat Z to the punch, but I got it at plus 400. So I I beat the market pretty good too. But now, now down to 260, 300 range, I much rather have under 2.5 at plus 280.
Yeah.
Just I think I think in FanDuel, yeah, there you go. It's plus 280 at FanDuel. I think I'd take that line now over, obviously the 260. I mean, if you're going to take the 280 and then, Vanessa has, I guess, some grappling upside where she might throw up like a arm bar or something, she might get something there. But honestly, this is a smash spot for me. JJ Aldrich is going to dominate from the get-go. I don't see anything that Vanessa has for her, to be honest.
I like it. I'm going to go next, and I completely agree. I'm on the same thing, under 2.5 rounds, plus 280. I do 100% get the Aldrich side, but this kind of covers both sides, right? Like you got the Aldrich finish upside, and then also if it was to hit the ground for some reason, if Aldrich chose to take down Demopolis, it covers like the armbar from guard. Demopolis is dangerous on the ground. Aldrich has been submitted 2 times, so it kind of does cover both sides here. But yeah, I think there's a lot of value rather than playing Aldrich by decision, which is like crazy, like minus 170, minus 180. I'd rather take a shot on this plus 280 under here, as I do think a finish is more likely, at least than the line does indicate. So I'm with you guys as well. I can definitely see an Aldrich finish, but I do like this under 2.5 as it does cover both sides there. Billy, what is your best bet for this fight?
Man, I have such a no read on this fight. I'm glad I'm on here with you guys. Vanessa Demopolis, man, I feel like she has like little T-Rex arms. It's absolutely ridiculous. I guess I was looking at the under 2.5 too. I'm glad you guys are kind of on the same exact thing. I just don't have a good read after this fucking Bay Malecki shit that happened to me last week, man. I fell for it. It was like the bookies made a trap line. I fell for it. I'm coming in with this week with some wounds on my shoulder, so I don't know if I really want to be betting a lot of money on this one, but probably be live on a show on Pub, so probably throw a couple dollars at this one.
Yeah, I do think there's some decent value on this under, and as well as the Aldrich KO, which I do see now at plus 475. Not horrible, and we will move on to the next fight. Before we do, want to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Sean saying Aldrich isn't good, but if you think Aldrich isn't good, I don't know what you think about Demopolis, because she does nothing good at all. She's very bad. Alex liking the under 2.5 as a value bet. I agree, 100% agree there. Mystic in the chat as well. The bum Bay Malecki, yeah, she's not great. Chase saying another trap line could be. I think there's some value there though. But yeah, we will move on here. Thomas saying he doesn't bet women's MMA, but I had to take a shot at the no distance plus 280. Agreed. I think there's a ton of value there. All right, so we will move on to the next fight of the night. Interesting fight here. We have Dustin Jacoby going against Darren Stewart, and we will kick it off to Billy first. What's your best bet for this fight?
Best bet on this one is fight goes the distance, minus 140. Pretty confident on this one. I would probably say my favorite prop on the board this week besides one on the main card.
Fight goes the distance, 140. All right, and then I'll go next. I'm kind of on the same side as you, but I do like Dustin Jacoby in this fight. I also do like Dustin Jacoby by decision, which is plus 145. Man, the size difference at the weigh-ins was crazy. And, getting into tape, I thought that Stewart kind of had a path to victory of potentially, wrestling Jacoby for 3 rounds here. But, after watching the tape, seeing that that's not really something Stewart does, and also seeing that, Jacoby has a very good get-up game, solid takedown defense. And on the feet, for me, it's Jacoby all day. More volume, better striking defense. Darren Stewart, I believe, has like a 49% striking defense. So, I like Jacoby here to get the win. Stewart is very tough. He's never been finished. He almost got finished by Anders, but very tough and never been knocked out nonetheless. So I do like Dustin Jacoby by decision, which I do believe is sitting at plus 145. Z, what is your best bet for this fight?
I like that that goes the distance at minus 140. I think that's very live, and it's pretty short considering the stylistics. But I'm going to opt actually for the Dustin Jacoby money line. I guess it's been getting hit a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, the size difference is huge. He's got a big striking advantage. I wouldn't put it past him to finish Darren Stewart, although I don't think that's likely. So again, I do like the goes the distance, because if it goes the distance, I might get quote unquote robbed. But yeah, I think Jacoby just kind of rolls here without much trouble. Like, again, I was with you, Brady. I was going into this thinking, can Stewart take him out of his element? But upon watching tape, it's like, that's not really that likely. He's not really that successful doing that. And when he fought a real wrestler, he got completely dominated. So I just can't trust him to do that, especially when Jacoby has, thwarted that attempt versus Ion Kudlaba. So, yeah, give me the Jacoby money line. It's nothing crazy, and I don't have any bets on this fight, but I am using Jacoby pretty big in DraftKings.
Yeah, I like it. I'm on Jacoby as well. Yeah, I was tempted on the money line, but I saw the plus 145, took that instead. I do think this is going the distance, and I do think he gets it done by decision. But yeah, I do like the over. I like Jacoby and also the decision line. Narco, are you with us here, or are you going the other way?
I have to echo all your sentiments. I like fight goes to decision. I like Jacoby. I like Jacoby by decision. I just don't think Stewart is. First of all, he's not even a wrestler. That's his only path, I believe, and he's not much of a guy that's gonna hold people down. I think, like you said, Jacoby has a good get-up game. To me, I like the Jacoby decision line. You can get it, I think, at plus 165 on DraftKings right now. So I think that's a solid bet.
I do like that as well. Sosa kind of going the other way. He likes the fight, doesn't go to decision, plus 100. Payne, fight prediction is siding with the dog here in Stewart. Dan saying big arms do not like heavyweight weight make. Jacoby makes Stewart look like Stewart Little. He does. He was a lot bigger. Thomas saying Stewart by sub, plus 1225. I believe Stewart has one submission on his record against Maki Patolo. Maybe he can get it here, plus 1225 there. Stewart getting the walking papers after this fight. He could. And then SD saying Jacoby is terrible, but Stewart just undersized. I'm off this one. Yeah, the size difference was definitely apparent there. All right, so MT saying Jacoby KO, potentially, but man, Stewart is very, very tough. So we will get to the next fight on the card here. And we have a very fun one. Sam Alvey going against Wellington Turman. I'll kick this one off, and my best bet is going to be Sam Alvey, and I'm going to take him to win by KO at plus 250. Turman is very, very hittable, 43% striking defense. Sam Alvey, he doesn't do a lot of things well, but what he does do well is he knocks people out, has 20 knockout wins. He almost has as much knockout wins as Turman has fights. Turman has 21 fights. Alvey has 20 wins by knockout, and with how hittable Turman is, with the questionable chin, getting knocked out in his last two fights by Andrew Sanchez, a decisionator, and coming back, way too early after a brutal knockout against Silva in his last fight. Sam Alvey's going to stuff the takedowns. He's going to keep it on the feet. I think that Sam Alvey, if he doesn't get the knockout, I do have concerns about him winning because he just is so low volume. But I feel like he's going to have many opportunities to hit Wellington Turman and hit him very, very hard and potentially knock him out. So my best bet is going to be Sam Alvey by KO. It is plus 250 on BetOnline. Not sure what it is on other books. Plus 290 on FanDuel, plus 275 on DraftKings, plus 244 on a 5-dimes there. So Z, what is your best bet for this fight?
I agree, Brady. I used to think Wellington Turman was a good prospect. There's a video of me on the internet calling Wellington Turman a solid spot versus Andrew Sanchez, and that blew up in my face like no other. So yeah, I used to think he was like a bruiser, get in your face, pretty good tendencies, but turns out he's just slow and not very durable. And I do think Sam lands that lead right hook, takes him out. It's very concerning that Turman's coming back after being knocked out cold 2 months ago, and it was a very bizarre knockout too, and we have seen in the past, guys come back from hellacious knockouts relatively quickly and do okay. I'm recalling Bilal Muhammad coming back to fight Randy Brown off that bad knockout, and he did okay. So it's not always like a sure thing, but it's just a pretty big concern, especially because Turman has shown poor durability now in his last two fights. So I agree with you said, like Sam Alvey, the volume is very concerning. I don't want to touch him from a money line perspective, but for that knockout that I am seeing around 260, I think I saw it somewhere. So yeah, 265 I'm seeing. So I think that has a pretty honest chance to cash, and I might actually end up making that a legitimate bet if we get out of here soon enough.
Yeah, Sam Alvey, he hasn't won in a while. He hasn't won in a long time, but that doesn't mean he cannot win tonight. I think it's a very good opportunity to catch the chin of Wellington Turman.
He does look in shape for this one, like a lot better shape than he was a few fights ago. So
he's fighting for his job. I mean, he's been fighting for his job, but now we know he's really fighting for his job. So, Narco, what do you have for this fight? Anything stick out to you?
I don't have anything. I am thinking of making a play on fight won't start round 3 at plus 122. I believe Wellington Thurman's chin, man, coming back, after that brutal knockout is not good after 2 months. But the other thing that I saw, and I don't know if you guys saw it too, after 4 years, Alvey cutting down to 185 at 35 years old might take a toll on his chin because, you go look at this last fight against Marquez, he got rocked. Basically it was a knockout and then he choked him out. But, he was hurt very, very bad. So, Wellington does throw hard. I'm going to give him something like his process in the last fight. He was trying to take the fight to the ground, which is smart, right? So he might try to do the same thing here. And I think he's the much better grappler. But Alvey's not easy to take down. So, but regardless, I like the fight doesn't start round 3 at plus 122. You're getting, 30, 40 points from under 2.5, which is great.
Yeah, definitely get that. Kind of covers both sides. Alvey, if he does have some durability issues himself, maybe Turman can catch him, maybe like a club and sub. Or if Turman is able to get Sam Alvey down, he could be in trouble. So I definitely get that as well. Z, what is your? I went to you, Billy. Billy, what is your best bet for Alvey?
I can't believe it's 2021. I'm betting on fucking Sam Alvey. Need a little bit of line movement. I got it on the money line, but like Z was saying about the whole knockout thing with Turman last, I think it was 2 months ago. So I ended up having to play Sam Alvey by KO or DQ. Make sure you throw that DQ in there because I think this fight could have some weird variants where you might want to have the KO or DQ in your pocket.
All right, so we're kind of all on the same page there. We think we're going to get some violence, and the majority of us are on Sam Alvey. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Preston is on the Alvey KO. What is up, Ahmed? How you doing? See what else we have here. Talking about the next fight. We have Turman coming back too soon. I agree. I think it's way too soon. Brutal knockout in his last fight there.
Also, if I can just jump in too and say,
okay.
Dude, Wellington's so aggressive with his striking, but Sam is a tricky southpaw with that lead right hook. I don't think Wellington's going to fare well on the feet at all. He leaves big defensive liabilities, and Sam's such a tricky vet. I think he finds the mark, man. And I've used Alvey in DraftKings. That's why I don't have a legitimate bet on it as of right now. But yeah,
I like it. MT with you as well with the Alvey KO, his FanDuel MVP. I like that. All right, so we will move on to the next fight here. We have, oh my goodness, we have Abdulrazak Al-Hassan going against Alessio Di Chirico. Very intriguing fight because Al-Hassan has not looked the same since coming off of that layoff. 3 losses in a row. I'll be honest, I think I've had some type of action on Al-Hassan, whether it was like the first round knockout prop, whether it was a violence prop, in all 3 of these losses here. So he's screwed me 3 times in a row. I'm not falling for it this time. I don't think it's the same Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. Going against Alessio Di Chirico, who I think is a pretty underrated fighter. Very good chin, never been knocked out. But the play I do like in this one is going to be the fight doesn't go to decision, which is minus 145. So it covers both sides, right? Al-Hassan, he has never won by any other method outside of a first-round knockout. No wins in the second round, third round, or by decision. So it covers that side of things. But I think Alessio Di Chirico is a capable finisher, finishing almost half his wins by knockout, some submission wins on his record as well. And I think he's going to put it on Al-Hassan as the fight goes on. I'm kind of, predicting a third-round finish here for Di Chirico, which I believe is around plus 1,100. But to play it safe, cover both sides here, fight doesn't go to decision, minus 145. I do like that quite a bit. I think we're going to get some violence in this fight one way or another. I think someone's going to sleep. Z, what is your best bet for this fight?
Dude, I agree. Echo everything you just said. Totally agree. I do think the move to elevation for Razak is a good one, and he looks physically in better shape this fight than he did the last one. So he's a super dangerous guy, very strong, very good base, and heavy hooks. But yeah, his process isn't the greatest. He's up against a big size disadvantage. I believe Di Chirico is the type of dude to settle into the fight, whereas Razak is very, he burns out really quickly. So I love the fight doesn't go the distance. Again, I didn't put a bet on it. I don't really know why not. I probably should have. I'm seeing it here in a pretty decently playable range at like minus 145, minus 130 in spots. And I also agree that Alessio in round 3 is live. He's another leg of that long bomb round robin, that round 3Z. Hopefully that hits for 100K. I just need 5 third round finishes, and it'll be 100 grand. So that'd be sweet on a $21 ticket. But give me for a pick, give me Di Chirico to finish him towards the latter half of the fight. But I agree with you. The doesn't go the distance is probably the best look.
Yeah, something else to mention is, in these Al-Hassan fights, right? We're used to getting the fight doesn't go to decision at crazy prices like minus 250, minus 300, and now we're seeing it at minus 145 because Jacob Malkoun, a bum, couldn't finish him. I think Alessio Di Chirico is not a bum, and he very well could. So I do like that as well. We'll kick it to Narco. Anything sticking out to you here?
Yeah, I have a play on the under 2.5 at minus 112. It's still there to be had. I kind of when I looked at this fight, I kind of compared Al-Hassan to two other fighters that Chirico's fought in Buckley and Bang Bose. Those guys are both really powerful, huge hitters. Similar game to Al-Hassan, and he knocked both those guys out. And I just think Chirico is kind of underrated. He's got a good game everywhere, very crisp striking, very good kicks. I just think he's gonna put it on Hassan after probably the 2.5 minute mark, because I think Hassan he's very dangerous early. So I think he chin checks you. He's gonna put you out.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. Very dangerous early. Billy, are you lining up with us here, or are you going the other way on something?
Man, I still have PTSD dreams about fucking betting Al-Hassan, man. But DFS this week, man, I'm not going to lie. The ownership is kind of low on Al-Hassan. That's how I think I'm going to chase back some Al-Hassan lost money. I do like him a lot in daily fantasy. I think on FanDuel, he's like $11. He's making a couple of things work, so I think that's how I'm going to play. I was looking at fight method of victory, KO, TKO at minus 120, but I like that under 2.5 more. It covers a little bit more of a couple of options, but I might want to buy the extra 5 minutes, though, and take the minus 140.
All right, so we're all on the same page here. A lot of people looks like they are on the Al-Hassan side as well. I don't really see many people on the Di Chirico side. I don't really see many people on Al-Hassan this weekend, rightfully so. He's not been looking that great. I like how you brought up DK, Billy, because typically we're used to seeing Al-Hassan at 9,300, 9,200, 9,100. Now we see him at a very cheap price. I'm with you. I do have some Al-Hassan because if he does win, it's going to score a lot. Dawes with the super sticker. Appreciate that, Dawes. Thank you for hanging out. And we have 411 people in the chat. If you all can hit the like button, that'd be much, much appreciated. Going live every week, every Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims. Hopefully you guys are liking the show. I'm loving it. Hopefully you guys are loving it as well. Let's make some money. Cannot wait for this card. I think we're talking about a lot of good spots, and we're going to get to the next fight here. And we have Gerald Meerschaert going against Mahmoud Muradov, and let's kick it off to Narco. What do you got here for us?
So I have a play at under 1.5 at plus 108. Currently, I don't know what the odds are currently. Is it somewhere that, well. Yeah, it's still at 108. So yeah, yep. I mean, you can even get it some places at 115. So yeah, my favorite play is under 1.5. I just think, I know Muradov is a slow starter, but man, Meerschaert on the feet, man, I don't think he can get this fight to the ground, and he's pretty much screwed on the feet. So I love Muradov's striking, his footwork. It's really clean. Really good striking. I don't think GM3 is going to be able to take it.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there, and I was looking at the under as well. There's been money pouring in on the over 1.5. If you bet the over this week in this fight, you're going to be sweating for 7.5 minutes. I mean, I personally do think it goes under, but I took an even safer route. So the fight doesn't go to decision on BetOnline, opened up at minus 450, and there's been money coming in on the fight goes all week. I think minus 215 is a steal. I mean, Gerald Meerschaert has a ton of fights on his career. I think he's been to decision maybe 4 or 5 times. He is a killer be killed fighter. Either he does get a finish or he gets finished himself. Gerald Meerschaert with a 94% finish rate. I think maybe 1 decision win. And then he has been finished 11 times out of 14 losses, 8 by submission, 3 by knockout. I'm with you, Narco. I think that if Meerschaert cannot get the takedown, which I don't think he does, I think that Muradov is going to have plenty of opportunities to knock out a Meerschaert chin that is not good at all. I mean, if Ian Heinisch is knocking you out in less than a minute, you have some problems with that chin. I think Muradov's an absolute beast, a finisher in its own right. So, and even then, like, fight doesn't go to decision, it covers both sides. Like, if Meerschaert is able to, get the fight down to the mat, which I don't think he does, or, if he, slips, if there's a slip, he ends up on top, something crazy like that happens, I think the minus 215 does kind of cover both sides. Either way, I think someone gets finished here, but I do think Muradov does win, probably by KO. Billy, how about you? What are you looking at here?
Oh man, I guess the word's out on Muradov being a good MMA fighter. We're getting a fucking boxing line on the money team guy. I kind of want to go a little bit against you guys, over 1.5 at -115, but more importantly, I need to cash a parlay this week. I got Muradov and Martinez 2.48 units, so not as confident as I once was on Sunday with that parlay, but we're gonna try to get a couple of dollars on this over 1.5 -115. It's kind of generous, but man, GM3, dude, he made Khamzat Chimaev look like if he was a great technical striker. So I don't know if GM3 could do it, but I got a little special place in my heart for GM3 for that last fight against Fabinski, but it's time to fade him today.
Yeah, I get why the over 1.5 is popular. I mean, Muradov, I believe his 2 finishes in the UFC are in that third round. So I think he is kind of a slow starter, but man, it's just going to be so sweaty for 7.5 minutes. So I personally want to touch it, but it's a very popular play this week. So we'll see what happens. Z, are you more on the Billy side on that over, or are you more on the narco side of the under?
Yo, first and foremost, Billy, don't sleep on Khamzat. He is a technical striker, dude. He's legit. He's legit. The movement, the mechanics, it's all there. But yeah, I think Muradov will do the same thing. I think your parlay is good. I'm going to take Muradov inside the distance, but I'm seeing a pretty big discrepancy here. In a couple books I don't use, it's actually still -135, which is kind of crazy considering the money line and considering the athleticism difference here. So yeah, if you can bet that Muradov inside the distance minus, like I said, I'm seeing 135, but anything better than -150, I think that's pretty good. Again, considering the difference between the money line and the inside the distance, and I just don't see Meerschaert surviving on the feet. I don't know about the under or over because I could see Muradov's speed just playing out just like Khamzat's. But then again, Muradov kind of skirts the outside, likes to play with his foot a bit, so I could see that trickling over, especially when it's set at 1.5. But yeah, give me Muradov to finish whenever he chooses to.
Yeah, -135. Goodness, yeah, I love that. Especially you got a -600 Muradov, and his path to victory is probably knocking this guy out. So yeah, I think -135 is definitely a steal. Davey on Muradov as well. Muradov by spinning uppercut. I like it. So we'll move on to the next fight on the card. And we have a very interesting one, two fighters from Tough. Michael Gilmore, who did come in on short notice replacement, I believe on 2 days. I think they're kind of rewarding him here in a fight where, man, I just think this is a very lopsided fight. Andre Petroski going against Michael Gilmore. So my favorite play is going to be the under 1.5 rounds. But my goodness, it's been smashed. It is now -169. But I think the under is pretty safe here, especially considering that if Petroski does win, I do think it's going to be the under 1.5 mark here. I see a -152 on FanDuel, -155 on 5 Dimes. Like, if he does not finish under the 7.5 minutes, I actually have some serious concerns about the gas tank of Petroski. So I'm kind of hoping it's kind of like one takedown in the fight shortly after. But yeah, it's hard to see this going 7.5 minutes, to be honest. Like, I think there's a big skill gap in between the two guys here. Petroski, what does he do very well? He's a D1 wrestler training at a very good camp, solid ground game as well. Knows what he's good at. He fights to his strength. He goes for the takedowns early and often. I love that about him. What is Michael Gilmore really bad at? Well, a lot of things, but he's very bad at stuffing takedowns. He's very bad, submission defense. He's been submitted a handful of times, got submitted on the Ultimate Fighter as well. So, yeah, I think Petroski does win. I think he does win under the 1.5 round mark. And even then, it does cover both sides. If Michael Gilmore was able to somehow, catch Petroski, it does cover that as well. But I think the majority of the time, Petroski does get a takedown and finish the fight shortly after. Narco Cop, what do you got for this one?
I have Petroski round 1 at +115.
Nice.
This is a complete mismatch, man. Gilmore, he's terrible on the ground, horrible defensively on the ground, bad takedown defense. Everything that Petroski's good at, Gilmore's bad at. So that right there should tell you, I don't see, again, you're talking about the gassing of Petroski, but the two guys that we saw that he gassed against are much better than Gilmore. I think are going to gave him a lot more resistance than anything Gilmore's going to give him. So, Gilmore's a 170-pounder. He's not an 85er. The last fight against Urbina on Tough, Urbina's also a natural 170-pounder, and he easily took him down, got his back. I don't think Petroski is going to have any resistance here. A plus money round 1, I think that's a high probability of happening here.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Plus 115 there. If he does win, there's a good chance that it is in round one, and it's better than paying like the minus 700 or whatever he is. I think that is his most likely win condition there. Z, are you with us? Are you on the Petroski? Are you on the under? Or you kind of think this goes over? Or are you taking a shot on Gilmore?
No, I'm taking a shot on, well, again, not an official bet or anything, but for the show, I'm taking Petroski wins by submission. And when we talk about a discrepancy in the odds, Bovada opened at minus 230, and it's now minus 250, where it's plus money in other spots. So that's a crazy, like 20% difference in the odds. I'm seeing it plus 115, plus 105. Even that minus 120, I think, is good. So, yeah, give me Petroski by submission. I echo a lot of the things Narco said. Everything that he's good at, but he's bad at. So, yeah, submission.
Yeah, I definitely get it. I mean, Gilmore has not lost in any other way outside of getting submitted, and you're turning a minus 700 favorite into that minus 120 most likely win condition there. I like that as well. Billy, are you with us here? Do you think Petroski gets it done, or are you going the other way?
Man, tribute to Sean Brady not being on this card, having a foot problem. So we get the teammate. I'm all about it. Let's get it, Petroski. I will say, probably will fade him in the future. His gas tank is definitely a concern. But if we can get a nice little teammate parlay of Petroski and Pat Sabatini, I'm screaming straight to the bank tonight. Somebody asked me earlier what's my favorite bet of the card. My favorite bet of the card, definitely with Z on that one. Andre Petroski by submission plus 120. That's a steal. And then you can sprinkle plus 150 for Petroski round one sub. And then shouts to Alex Ramirez. I'm on that round two submission to plus 600.
I like it. Yeah, so we're all on Petroski, as are probably the most people out there. And Dan's saying all that chalk on a guy who only has one round of cardio. I think he wins, but that's a huge amount of chalk too for a little fighter. Yeah, people have been saying this all week. A lot of question marks on Petroski, but in this fight in particular, I don't think we have to worry about that too much. I do think this fight does get finished, and it does get finished early. We have the General taking notes as well. Appreciate you for hanging out, General. 485 in here. My goodness. I think that's a new record for the channel. Y'all can hit the like, the subscribing, much, much appreciated. And be sure to tune in every Saturday, and we will give our best bets every single Saturday there. And we will get to the next fight. And this fight is probably, I think, not only my favorite fight in the card, but I think a lot of people's favorite fight in the card. You have Kevin Lee coming back from like a over a year layoff, going against Danny Rodriguez, somebody that is really streaking now. And yeah, it's a very good fight. Looking forward to it. But from a betting perspective, Billy, what are you looking at here?
Man, this one's kind of threw my head for a swirl, man. Beginning of the week, I was kind of on D-Rod, but as the line's moving and watched a little bit more fight tape, if everything goes well, all the parlays cash earlier in the night, I might have to go balls deep on Kevin Lee and take the money line, dude, because I think this could be one of those fights that when you watch the card and after it happens, you'd be like, what the fuck, dude? I didn't bet Kevin Lee like the Reeve was right. I could have just slammed a Kevin Lee 1 unit after some stuff cashed and could have picked up a couple more dollars on the night. So that's going to be my best bet on this one.
Your best bet's Kevin Lee money line?
Kevin Lee money line.
Billy, I'm going directly against you here. My best bet is going to be D-Rod. I'm really struggling with this fight because I get the whole, Kevin Lee's fought the much better competition, but, he is coming up a weight class, coming off of 2 major injuries as well. And, D-Rod is going to be the much bigger fighter, has a lot of tools, has that volume, great takedown defense, a solid ground game himself. And I feel like if you can stuff a lot of these takedowns, keep it on the feet, kind of wear out Kevin Lee, I think he's going to have a chance to win this fight. This fight's so close, though. Kevin Lee at the weigh-ins, he actually called it D-Rod Little. And I went on D-Rod's Instagram. He posted that he was weighing in. It was at 6 o'clock. It was 6 o'clock his time down in Vegas, and he weighed in at like 192 pounds. So he put on 22 pounds in like a couple hours. So D-Rod's a big dude. He's a big dude. So I feel like Kevin Lee's game plan is going to be to wrestle him for 3 rounds. Is he going to do that? Is he going to have the cardio to do that? Is the size going to be the difference? I don't know. It's a tough fight to call. For me, it's kind of a coin flip. I'll take the plus money on D-Rod, plus 121 now it is. Z, are you on the Billy side or my side with D-Rod here?
Man, I think that's I think the fact that you two are split says a lot, and I'm very split on this fight too, because if Lee comes in here and grabs that single, turns the corner, takes the back, strangles D-Rod, I don't think anyone will really be surprised. I don't want to say his ground game is bad or anything. He's a 10th planet purple belt or something, but we just haven't seen it. We haven't seen what that looks like when somebody goes after his legs. So yeah, he's a lot bigger, and yeah, the striking, I think he's more refined. I prefer his game. I prefer his hands. I think he hits a lot harder than Kevin, but the fight is so binary, and if Kevin can take him down, he's going to look pretty obvious, but if he can't, or if he gets stuck, or if he gets tired, then it's going to look pretty obvious for D-Rod. So I'm really torn. I know some sharp people on the D-Rod money line as well, not only you, Brady, but I just can't say for certain that he's going to keep the fight on the feet. So I guess I'll kind of cop out and say it doesn't go the distance. The best I see it is minus 115. I think whoever is having success will have a lot of it. So I don't mind that. But as far as like you want a big number, I would say Kevin Lee submission in round 1 at plus 650. That could hit if he's getting takedowns easily and he gets on the back when he's fresh. So that's my take on it. But I guess officially I'll say fight doesn't go the distance. That'll be the pick.
Yeah, I can see it. Somebody in the chat also said maybe a D-Rod round 3 prop. If Kevin Lee does slow down, maybe D-Rod can find a sub or something like that. Narco, are you more on the D-Rod side or the Lee fight, or on the Lee side? And then what is your best bet for this fight here?
So, I mean, really tough fight to gauge here. Like, if we both know, I mean, we all know that if it stays standing, it's D-Rod all day. But, Kevin Lee, man, dude he's the best wrestler that D-Rod's ever faced. I mean, the dude is tenacious, and man, that rear naked choke is nasty, man. And you see in that Perry fight, like when D-Rod got taken down, he went to stand up. He gave his back to Perry. He better not be doing it in this case here against Kevin Lee, because he'll be in big trouble. But you mentioned that thing, his size, man, huge. He's huge, man. D-Rod's a huge 170 pounder, and if Kevin Lee's not successful in getting these takedowns and is gassing out, that's another question. So for me, I took the under 2.5 at plus 114. I just see that, both guys can stop one another in their own realms. And I also took a shot with D-Rod round 3 at plus 1,600.
1,600. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Somebody in the chat saying he was in Disneyland the day he signed for the fight, eating hot dogs and ice cream. I actually did hear that as well. So something to note there. But yeah, man, tough fight to call. I think you can go either way. Do you favor the experience of Kevin Lee, the wrestling of Kevin Lee? Do you favor the size of D-Rod there? Tough fight, but I think we did bring up some good points there. PayPal saying D-Rod is 34 and has a sus chin. I don't really think you have to worry about Kevin Lee knocking him out here, but yep, he is 34. Lee's going to be younger.
Lee has the sus chin.
Who?
Lee has the sus chin. He gets rocked all the time. In a lot of his wins, he's getting rocked too. But yeah,
I agree. I don't think we'll have to worry about Kevin Lee knocking out D-Rod. I think that's the least of his worries here in this fight. See what else we got here. Zora in the chat, if you see Lee walking in with his headphones and singing and dancing, bet D-Rod. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Zora, for that. All right, let's move on. So we're going to get to some tough fights here. And yeah, these two are very tough to call, in my opinion. I do have action on the Petroski Gilmore fight, but both of these I actually don't have any action at all. So I'm curious to see what you guys have for this one. We have Ricky Turcios going against Brady Hiestand. Seems like a really split fight for people out there. I see a lot of people on the Brady side. I see a lot of people on the Ricky side, but I'm curious to hear you, Billy. Billy, what side are you on, and what is your best bet for this fight?
Couple takeaways from the Ultimate Fighter. I ended up binge watching it after last week, before this week. I wasn't trying to watch the Ultimate Fighter every week at the same exact time every week. I just try to watch it all in one clip. Note to self, do not bet Ricky Turcios fights. I see a lot of people on Brady. I think it's a good daily fantasy play, but his style is so fucking weird. What I'm going to go with for this one is minus 160. Fight goes the distance. One concern about that, though, I feel like both fighters took a lot of damage on the show. Ricky Turcios, if you saw like the last episode when he was putting up his hands, man, his face was absolutely messed up. He got in a couple wars. It's going to be one of those fights that are going to be real sketchy, and you're probably going to think, what the fuck did Bill get me on in the first 5 minutes of the fight? But fight goes the distance at minus 160 is the way I want to attack it.
Okay, yeah, I don't hate that. Z, what are you looking at for this fight?
Man, this is the toughest one for me because I didn't really put in a lot of work on the tough fights. So To be honest, I don't know. If I could pass, I would. I'm using Brady in some DraftKings, so I guess I'll say his money line is maybe the best bet. But to be honest, don't take my advice on this one. I don't know what's going on. So sorry, boys.
It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight. Narco, can you help us out? What do you have for this fight here?
I have Brady at plus 138. The guy is a tenacious wrestler. He went up against, I believe, probably to me was probably the favorite to win that tournament in Josh Rittenhouse. Dude is really, really good, man. Like he knocked out Muradov, and we know how good Muradov is. Guys fought in high level people, and man, he grinded him. Even though it was a really close fight, I was really impressed with Brady. I know his cardio kind of, gave out on him in that third round, but the guy kept pushing. So to me, like, I believe he's going to be able to take Turcios down. Turcios is a scrambly guy. Like, the guy's constantly throwing, spamming kicks, punches. He's awkward. Like Billy said, the dude is kind of awkward. But, I think Brady's going to be able to take him down. And, Brady by decision is not a bad look either. I think you get it like 300, 340 range. That's not a bad look because I really believe he's going to be able to land takedowns and at least take a couple of rounds off of Turcios.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your breakdown there. I think Brady's going to have a lot of success early. I just worry about what's going to happen in the late second, third round. The prop that I did take was actually Turcios to win in round 3. Like I said, I think Brady's going to have a lot of success early. Turcios has very questionable takedown defense, and I think that Brady's going to be able to get him down early and often. It's just with that heavy pace and with the pace that both of these guys push, how is Brady's gas tank going to look later in the fight? And, Turcios is somebody that, has an unlimited gas tank, it seems like, whereas we have seen Brady slow down. So for me, if I had to bet anything, I probably would take a shot on that Turcios to win in round 3 at plus 1,100. But again, it's a very, very tough fight to call. So yeah, I'll just take a shot on that third round prop there.
One more thing to add.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing to add. Brady was fighting both those fights with a knee injury apparently, and okay. I mean to fight with a knee injury and look really damn good against two good guys. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And not to mention Craig Jones, who's one of the best grapplers, says this guy's grappling is really, really good. So, I mean, we didn't see much of it, the actual submission grappling, but he might use it here, man. Guy's supposedly high-level grappler.
I will say, though, man, I don't know how much to take off of that second fight against Vince Murdoch, because Vince Murdoch, like, I hate to laugh, but that whole entire thing that happened with him about getting signed to the UFC, and then he had an injury for that fight. So I don't know how much to really take from that, but I would definitely say he definitely looked good in Ultimate Fighter. I definitely do echo Josh Rittenhouse definitely had the best resume on paper in the Tough House.
Yep, and he's only 22 years old, so I think he has a ton of upside. This kid's good.
Trading partner is it too, man.
Yep, I can't wait for this fight. We have a dono in the chat. Contender View saying, Aziz, you look like Gastelum. What? No, he doesn't. See, what do you feel about that?
That's fucked up.
I don't know about all that.
Gastelum. Well, take it as a compliment, I guess, but I don't think you look like Gastelum. Okay, so we'll move on to the next fight here. We have the co-main. Brian Battle going against Gilbert Urbina. Another tough fight here at 185. We will start with Z. Z, what are you liking for this fight here?
I'm going to be real boring. I'm just going to say Brian Battle, money line. I didn't bet it or anything, but as far as what's the best bet, I think he rolls. I'm not crazy confident in it, but money has been coming in on him, obviously. And I don't really think Gilbert Urbina is that good or has a good like process-based skill set at all. So give me Brian Battle to outstrike him. But again, not confident on these Ultimate Fighter low-level guys. I've found, especially recently, when you're targeting the low level, you want to avoid any type of competitive fights. If it's competitive, it could go under, it could go over, either side could win. You want to really target lopsided fights, and I just don't see any crazy lopsidedness, at least in this one. So yeah, but again, give me Battle, but no real confidence.
Yep, agree there. Narco, what are you looking at for this fight here?
Yeah, I don't have big confidence in this one either. I just know like Battle's the real 185 pounder here. Gilbert Urbina is a 170 pound guy. Moving up a weight class. Battle's going to be the bigger, stronger guy. He's, the one thing about Battle is he's really good in the clinch. Elbows, knees. Guy's really good takedown defense. He showed well against Petroski, I believe is a better grappler than Urbina is. So, I'm still question mark the actual striking of Battle. I don't really like it that much, and so to me, if I had to make a play, it'd probably be Brian Battle minus 180. Right? I think like a couple hours ago it was minus 168, so it's jumped up.
Yep, some money is coming in on Battle there. Billy, are you with us? Do you like Battle here?
Man, I'll be quick with this one. Urbina fought Michael Gilmore, and that's the reason why so many people are confident in Aldrich Petroski this week. But I think there's a misprice on a prop. Urbina by submission plus 650. I might throw a couple dollars at that.
Okay, yeah, I believe he's finished 60% of his wins by submission, right? Or a decent amount of submission wins, right?
Yeah, it was a weird prop because there's really just not a lot of research on this fight. But from the eye, I feel like if Urbina is going to try to win this one on short notice, he better throw up a submission. It's submission or bust, in my opinion, for him.
Yep, PayPal agreeing with you there. Uncle Weezy in the chat. Damn son, 536 watching now. The show is a hit, Brady. Big ups to the whole new crew. Appreciate that. Weezy will be back next week. He is at, I believe, a baby shower. Not his baby, a friend's baby, but a shout out to Weezy hanging out in the chat, even though he is at a baby shower there. Appreciate that, Weezy. All right, so for me, yeah, I'm going to keep it short. I like Brian Battle, probably the money line. Do I love it a lot? Not really, but Gilmore is very, very hittable. Battle has shown a very solid takedown defense. It's going to be the better striker in this fight, more defensively sound. So if I had to pick something, it probably would be that Battle money line as well. I'm overconfident in it, not really. But yeah, so give me Battle, money line, not much confidence there. But we have the main event now. Before we get started into the main event, we all can hit the like button. Really do appreciate that. And thank you for hanging out, all of you guys, getting into our best bet for the main event now. And we have a very, very good main event, and I will kick it to Narco. Narco, what do you have for the main event here?
I really like Edson Barboza here. I took him at minus 105. I still think there's plenty of value on him at minus 116 or whatever, 120. Mm-hmm. The much cleaner striker, the way better hands, better cardio, better, strength of schedule, you name it. I mean, it's all in favor of Barboza. The guy's been 5 rounds. Giga slows down. To me, in that Emers fight, if Emers was to use some wrestling, it's an easy W for him, but he didn't. He decided to do it late. I still think Emers won that fight, to be honest, but it is what it is. I just think it's a huge step up for Chikadze. I like Barboza. I like the under 4.5 because I still believe, Giga, that kick, he's still very dangerous. And I believe he's dangerous early, rounds 1 to round 2. And then I think after that, it's going to be all one-way traffic from Barboza.
I like it. We got a dono in the chat. Alex, great new show to kick off the fight night. Thanks, guys. No, thank you, Alex, for the dono, and thank you for hanging out. Hopefully you're liking the show as much as I am. I'm loving the show. Lots of great info here. Billy, you liking anything for this main event here?
I got to say something to somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat said, this guy, what is your unit size? $100 unit size, but if you're watching a UFC card and you don't throw $5-10 on fight by fight, what are you sitting there for? In this fight, I like that FanDuel odds boost. Edson Barboza by KO TKO plus 340, and then fight method KO TKO. If you look back into some of the kickboxing history for both fighters, a lot of knockouts for both fighters. So we're gonna try to roll the dice and try to cash some money at the end of the night. And it was a really good week this week so far. So we got some house money to play with, so I'm definitely going to be spending it tonight.
Shout out Alex in the chat. Z, are you with Narca? Are you with Billy? Do you like the Barboza side, and what's your best bet?
Yeah, I like all that. Personally, I do have the under 4.5 at minus 117. I think there is some chance that Giga lands something heavy early. I do think he might pose some stylistic problems for Barboza being a long-range striker, but you go back, you watch those fights, I mean, he's kind of scraping by cardio-wise in these 3-rounders, and I think Barboza not only has better cardio, but if the fight does get into the later rounds, he will have damaged Giga quite a lot with the low kicks, with the body kicks, and so give me the under 4.5. That's the bet I have, but if you want something a bit better, I would agree, go with Barboza by knockout. I'm seeing it pretty big, like even inside the distance, is 260. And I wouldn't trust him to grapple heavy in this fight, but the path is there if he wants to take it. But yeah, the knockout, what am I seeing here? Knockout plus 320. That seems pretty generous for a 5-round fight versus a dude who is gassed in 3-round fights. But I will say, Narco, Barboza has not gone 5 rounds. He's been to the 5th round, but he has never gone 5. And in that fight, he didn't look too great.
Yeah, I meant he's been to the 5th round. So
okay.
Rodney's saying, are you guys going to be watching and commentating live? Pub Sports Radio is in about 5 minutes. They're going to be doing so. Z, are you going live tonight or no?
Yeah, I'll be going live.
So Z, Pub Sports be live. Billy, you're going to be on the Pub Sports stream tonight?
Yeah, we're about to go real hard on this card. 8 hours, I guess, of just straight live betting, fight by fight, man. Hopefully we make some more money. Hopefully we have some cappers, I think, that are coming on. Some college football and baseball cappers. Hopefully they give us a couple live lines and stuff like that in between fights.
Nice. Yep. Go check out the guys. They'll be doing some live commentary tonight. For me, yeah, I like a lot of spots here. I mean, Wheezy was talking about the knockout prop. I think that's a ridiculous price. Some of you guys mentioned it as well. I'd like the Barboza money line, but I think my favorite, if I had to pick one, would be the under 4.5 rounds. I'm with Z here. I think if Chikadze does win, it's going to be early. He is very dangerous early. Edson has been knocked out before. But, I agree with Narco. As the fight goes on, I do think that does favor Barboza a ton. We've seen Chikadze slow down in the 3rd round. What's he going to look like in the 4th round, in the 5th round? I personally think that Barboza is going to weather that early storm and kind of break Giga over the course of the fight, and eventually find a finish, maybe 3rd round, maybe 4th round. But under 4.5, it does cover both sides. If you do like Chikadze, the under 4.5 is probably a good way to look. But it's really hard to see Giga, getting either a late finish or winning decision here. I'd be really shocked if any of those happen. So. Yeah, guys, that's about it. We have 3 minutes left. We'll take the time to kick it around the horn. Billy, let them know where they can find you and what you have going on for tonight. And usually throughout the week, what do you do?
Follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills throughout the week. Try to just bet everything that we possibly can. I really specialize in MMA, NFL, and NBA player props and stuff like that. Pub Sports Radio, go live 7 days a week, all different type of sports. We usually do the MMA stuff, live stream in a couple of minutes. So I definitely got to head out. Nice meeting you guys. Thank you for opening up my eyes on the JJ Aldrich one. I took a couple notes, man, on the book right here. I'm definitely circling the JJ Aldrich one.
Yeah, Z is moving a line. Shout out to Dan in the chat for the dono. Good luck today, boys. Everyone ride that like button hard and send it home wet. Don't know what that means, but I will take it, Dan. Appreciate you for hanging out. Really do appreciate the dono as well. Z, let them know where they can find you, what you have going on tonight, and then also throughout the week.
Z's MMA on Twitter, on YouTube. Always down to talk fights with everybody, especially from a betting perspective. Realistically, only from a betting perspective. Going to be going live to watch the fights tonight. I put out breakdown videos of bets and fights throughout the week. And just Z's MMA on Twitter and YouTube. Hit me up.
Sounds good. Narco, I know you just recently started a YouTube channel. Let them know where they can find you and what you have going on throughout the week as well.
First off, thanks for having me, Brady. They can find me at NarcoCop on Twitter. I just started a YouTube channel, NarcoCop MMA. I'm going to be pushing out more content. I'm trying to do some giveaways and stuff like that. I'm in the process of getting it all done. So, basically, thank you for having me on, man.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. Thought it was a great first show. Make sure you guys tune in next week, 1 hour prior to the prelims. Going to be every Saturday. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. I enjoyed it myself. Hopefully you guys got some action for tonight's card. And hopefully we make some money as well. You can find me personally, DFS_numbers on Twitter. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. I have all my bets posted there for tonight. I'm probably going to stay off social media for then. I have a bunch of friends coming over. We're going to watch the NASCAR race along with UFC, and we're going to be playing some blackjack as well. So probably a night off is good for me.
Brady.
NASCAR's going to be fun. Lock. We got some Daytona. Some crashes.
So a NASCAR lock that I can bet real quick before this UFC card goes off.
I'm just doing DraftKings on it, to be honest. I'm just playing the back and hoping for a lot of wrecks.
All right, man. I was gonna say, if you had a NASCAR look, man, I could throw a couple dollars on it, man.
I don't know, but yep. All right, thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you all, and we will see you next week. Good luck for UFC Vegas 35. Let's make some money and let's go Edson Barboza. See you guys.